Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English a Long Way, where you grow in life and grow in English. I'm Elena.
And I'm Marcus. And today, we are going to talk about something very practical.
Very practical, very useful, and maybe a little uncomfortable.
Oh, I love uncomfortable. Let's go.
Okay, quick question. How many hours a week do you study English?
Most people probably say 2, 3 hours.
Right. And how many hours a week do you watch videos in your own language, use social media in your own language, think in your own language?
Oh no.
Yes, that's the problem. You study English for 3 hours, and then you live in your language for the other 165 hours of the week.
That is a very painful way to say that.
And today, we are going to talk about how to fix it, not by studying more, but by changing your environment.
Okay, I like that. But wait, is that actually possible for everyone? Not everyone lives in an English-speaking country.
That is exactly the question we are going to answer, and I think you might be surprised. So here's the main idea. Language learning is not just about studying, it's about surrounding yourself. It's about building an environment where English is always near you.
Okay, but what does that actually mean? Because I feel like people say this all the time, and then they say, watch movies in English. And I'm like, okay, but I don't understand anything.
Right, and that's the first mistake. People think surrounding yourself with English means jumping into the hardest content immediately.
Yes, exactly. And it doesn't work. You just feel lost.
So the idea is to build slowly. Start with small things. Change the language on your phone to English.
Okay, that sounds simple, but honestly, does changing your phone language really help?
It does, because every time you look at your phone, you're reading English. Settings, notifications, apps, these are small words, but they're repeated 100 times a day.
Okay, I see that, but I feel like small things like that are not enough. You need real conversation, real practice.
Of course you do, but here's the thing. Most people skip the environment and go straight to the difficult stuff, and then they fail and they stop.
Fair point. But I still think conversation is the king. You can change your phone language, watch movies in English, listen to English music, and still never be able to speak well.
I agree that conversation is important, but I disagree that the environment does not matter. They work together.
Okay, I'll give you that, but I still think most people focus too much on passive things, listening and reading, and not enough on active things, speaking and writing.
And I think most people never get to the speaking part because they never built enough confidence first. The environment builds confidence.
Okay, that's actually a good point. I knew you would say something like that. Light half. But let me push on this a little more because I think there's a real risk with the environment idea.
Okay, tell me.
I think people can create a very comfortable English environment, podcasts, music, phone settings, and feel like they're learning, but they're not really growing. They're just comfortable.
That's a fair criticism, but I think you're describing a bad version of the idea. The environment is not about comfort, it's about exposure.
Right, but exposure without challenge is just background noise. If I play English music all day but never try to understand the words, am I really learning?
No, you're not. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying make English part of your active life, not just your background.
Okay, but what does active look like? Because I feel like we say active and passive a lot, but we never really define it.
Fair. So passive is having English music on while you cook and not thinking about it. Active is listening to a podcast and pausing when you hear a new word. Passive is watching a show with subtitles and skipping past the parts you don't understand. Active is going back and listening again.
Okay, that's a real difference. I agree with that.
And the environment supports the active practice. It keeps you close to the language all day.
But here's my real question. What about people who tried this? They changed their environment, they listened every day, and they still feel like they're not improving.
That happens, and I think the reason is almost always the same. They're not producing, they're only consuming.
Meaning they never speak.
Or right, they listen and watch, but they never try to use the language themselves. The brain needs output to really learn.
Okay, now we agree. But, and this is my last challenge, what if someone has no one to speak with? No English-speaking friends, no community, no money for a tutor?
Then you speak to yourself.
Seriously?
Seriously, talk to yourself in English. Describe what you're doing. Think out loud. It sounds strange, but it works.
So you're saying talk to the wall in English?
Talk to yourself. The wall is optional.
You know what? I actually did this once. I would describe my morning routine in English, in my head, and it helped.
See? That's the environment. You created it inside your own mind.
Okay, that's actually kind of beautiful. I hate that you're right. Light half.
Okay, let me share something personal. When I was learning English, I had a habit. Every night before sleep, I read one page of an English book. Just one page. Very simple books at first.
What kind of books?
Children's books. I'm not embarrassed to say that. Simple words, short sentences. But every night, my brain was working in English before sleep. And after 6 months, I started dreaming in English.
Wait, seriously? You dreamed in English?
Yes, and that was the moment I knew the language was becoming part of me, not just something I was studying.
That's actually incredible. Okay, my story is a little more embarrassing. When I was trying to improve my English, I used to watch the same TV show over and over again.
The same show?
Yes, the same 20 episodes, maybe 4 or 5 times each. Because I already knew the story, my brain could focus on the language, not on trying to follow the plot.
Oh, that's actually very smart.
I know, right? I surprised myself.
And slowly, I started noticing things, small expressions, the way people reacted, the rhythm of the sentences.
Yes, that's exactly it. The rhythm. When you absorb the rhythm of a language, speaking starts to feel more natural.
Yes, it's like learning a song. You don't think about every note, you just feel it.
Let me say something that I think changes everything. A lot of people think improving English means being in class, sitting at a desk, doing exercises.
The traditional way.
Yes, and that's useful, but language is not just a school subject. It's a living thing. It grows when you live with it.
Okay, say more about that.
Think about babies. They don't study their language. They hear it, they feel it, they make mistakes, they try again, and in 2 years, they speak.
But we're not babies.
No, but our brains still work in a similar way. Repetition, context, emotion. These things teach language better than memorizing grammar rules.
So you're saying feel the language, not just learn it.
Exactly. And that's what the environment does. It gives you that daily feeling, that daily contact, like a friend you see every day. You understand each other without thinking too hard.
I like that. English as a friend, not a subject.
And the more you see this friend, in your music, in your shows, in your phone, in your thoughts, the more natural it becomes.
Okay, I'm fully convinced now, but I want to say one more thing before we talk to the listeners.
Go.
English takes time, like real time, not 2 weeks, not 1 month. And I think a lot of people give up because they don't see fast results.
That's so true. And the environment helps with this too, because it makes the process enjoyable. You're not suffering, you're just living in English.
Yes, and enjoyable things you keep doing.
Exactly.
Okay, we want to ask you, our listener, 3 simple questions. Take a moment with each one.
First question, right now in your daily life, how much English do you actually encounter? Think about your phone, your music, your shows, your reading. How much?
Take a moment.
Second question, what is one small change you could make this week, just one, to bring more English into your environment?
It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's just changing your phone language or listening to one English podcast on the way to work.
And the third question, when you hear English, do you listen carefully or is it just background noise?
Because the environment only works if you're present in it, if you're paying attention.
That's the real key, I think.
Okay, let's bring this together. Today, we talked about one big idea, that improving your English is not just about what you study, it's about what you live in.
Change your environment and you change your progress. Small steps, your phone, your music, your shows, your morning thoughts.
And the most important thing, be active. Listen with attention. Speak even to yourself. Write even just a few sentences.
Don't just consume, produce.
And here's the thought I want you to leave with today. Most people wait until they're good at English to use it more, but it works the opposite way. You have to use it more to become good at it.
Use it to learn it, not learn it to use it.
That's beautiful. Did you just think of that?
Honestly, yes. I surprised myself again.
Well, write it down, everyone. That's the one sentence from today.
If this conversation helped you,
Keep listening, keep growing.